Summer, 1996. Death waited to dance for her through the eye of the camera. It would be a slow dance, graceful as a waltz against a slate blue sky. She gazed at the view framed in the lens, unaware of danger. Colorado mountains rising all around, growing pink and purple in the morning sun. Her husband, Thomas, grinning on the precipice of a sheer cliff, the canyon wide and deep behind him. A golden eagle hovering above, drifting, silent in the winds, wings outspread like a dark angel descending. All she had to do was press her finger, one small click, and the photo would be taken. Yet she hesitated, waiting for this moment to last. Thomas grew restless, waved at her to hurry, pulled a cap from his jeans pocket and rammed it on his head. Going to take all day, he teased. Come on, Cassie, girl, everybody's waiting. The air smelled of fecund earth and crushed leaves and coffee warming over a campfire. Cassie glanced toward the scattered tents and the handful of friends who had traveled with them. No one seemed in a hurry. After long weeks of roughing it, they likely welcomed the last few hours of leisure before heading separate ways, as did she. There was something magical about this mountain, this breeze warm upon her skin, the shifting colors and glowing sky, the soaring eagle, and Thomas, standing like a young oak that had sprouted from the rock, a natural part of the elements with wildness in his blood. The camera was an old Nikon with a bulky zoom and hung from a strap around her neck. On the count of 3, she warned Thomas. 1, 2. She snapped the photo, the sound swallowed by the eagle's cry. The bird dived into the canyon, the shadow of its great wings sweeping over the precipice. Cassie saw it in the camera's eye, saw Thomas and his startled response, his head jerking upward, his foot stepping back, the rocks beneath crumbling away. Time and motion slowed, as if in a dream. Thomas stretched out his arms, as though he, too, were about to lift from the ground and fly. Then he seemed to float backward, softly slipping from the cliff edge. His cap lifted away, light as a fallen leaf carried by the wind. He looked directly at her, mouth agape, as if wanting to speak, and dropped from sight. Cassie ran toward the empty space where he once stood, the camera whacking her chest, seeing everything, seeing nothing, a scream ripping her throat. Her red hiking boots flashed forward and back as her feet propelled her on and on. Red boots, red as blood, red as the fear roaring in her heart. She teetered on the precipice. There, far below, sprawled face upward on a jagged outcropping as though sleeping in the sun, was Thomas, still as the stone he lay upon. Wind touched his sweet gold hair, lifted the hem of his shirt, tasted the blood spreading from the black of his head like the bloom of an exotic flower. Ruby tendrils reached for the edge and dripped into the canyon depths. Thomas, her cry echoed among the mountains. Thomas, 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 I'm coming down, coming down, coming down, coming down. She stumbled along the rim in a frantic search for access. The mountains yawned as if cloven with a knife, the sides shimmering, the floor sinking into shadows. Afraid of tumbling into the vast emptiness, she dropped to her knees and crawled along the precipice, pebbles and debris raining down from her scrabbling hands. God, help me. A root thrust a gnarled arm from the wall some 10 feet below. If she could somehow manage to get to it, the narrow shelf before that, And then, how far down had Thomas fallen? Her mind couldn't calculate. He looked so small from where she knelt, so abandoned, like an unwanted doll. Oh God, she lay flat, the rock-strewn earth digging into her stomach and legs, and stuck her feet over the lip. She could feel the tug of the wind as she inched downward, fingers grabbing at the dirt, her boots seeking a hold. Grit caked her teeth. She was sobbing, unaware of the sound, thinking somewhere in the deep recesses of her mind she heard the anguished cries of a wounded animal. Then she was airborne, lifted by a half-dozen hands, hauled into the level ground. She struggled against the arms that held her fast, the clamor of voices, the contorted faces. They dragged her to safety, the precipice receding through her fears. She couldn't breathe. Her body shook and turned cold. They laid her on a sleeping bag and wrapped her in blankets, constraining her like a mummy while the sun slid across the sky and the eagle returned to its flight, wings glittering. Thomas! Her lips formed his name. She looked up and imagined it was he who soared across the blue, gliding in the winds as if his spirit had risen free and now gazed down upon her. The bird dropped closer and closer still, transforming into metal and roaring as it dipped into the canyon and disappeared. Dust whirled in torrents from the blast of its wings. She tore the blankets aside and lurched upward, clinging to the hands she had once fought. She had no sense of minutes or hours, only of an icy numbness that settled into her bones. Whap, whap, whap! Propellers rose from the abyss, lifting the helicopter, lifting the basket that swung from its belly and carried her love. Even from this distance she could see the gold of his hair, the silken texture. The helicopter hovered like a giant prehistoric bird, then began its journey. She stumbled after it, the shadow slithering along the rugged mountain until it vanished into the horizon.
Nice.
The end.